And I guess we are live. Uh, Thank you everyone for joining. Welcome to all you need to know about crypto investment and its taxation. A quite popular topic, have been in demand for quite some time. All of you guys are getting to learn about cryptocurrencies and are invested in it, or even if you are not invested in it, at least you want to get invested and but would like to know what all are the tax implication and how does taxation works, right? So that is why CoinDCX and ClearText came together to bring you this insightful session wherein we will be answering most of the questions that you have and will bring you in-depth knowledge or insights around taxation, what blockchain is, what crypto is all about, and all of that. So we have a wonderful a lovely panel of guests here. Starting with me, my name is Akshay Singh. I'm the community manager at CoinDCX, and today we have with us Preeti Khurana, who is chartered accountant and who is a chartered accountant and director of advocacy and regulation. Hi, Preeti.
Hi.
Welcome to have you.
Hi, Akshay. Thanks for that introduction. And yeah, I'm excited to learn more about cryptocurrencies. And of course, I'll help the audience with taxation. Akshay, please introduce yourself.
Sure. Definitely, Preeti. So, a brief introduction about me is that I'm working as a community manager at CoinDCX, and I've been into crypto space since 2017. I've worked with multiple projects in the past, and have seen quite a lot of ups and downs in the market. So, we'll be bringing quite a lot of insights for all the audience members that we have from the cryptoverse. And along with me, we also have Anak Tiwari with us here, who is the legal counsel at CoinDCX. So, Anak, over to you. Please share a brief introduction.
Hi guys. So I've been with CoinDCX since the start. I'm the first legal counsel. We have built this amazing platform. We have seen crypto from very close side when people didn't believe us. And it's been a great journey. I hope to impart some knowledge, gain some knowledge through the questions, and looking forward to this session.
Wonderful. All right, yeah, I guess a lot of people might have noticed all the advertisements that were doing the rounds, especially during the India-Pak match, and I'm sure that sparked a lot of curiosity. And I can see that we have lots of attendees today. So, Anna, coming to you, what are you going to be talking about? Just give us a highlight, like tell us all that you know about cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of excitement around this topic, especially because of the way that people have had these phenomenal gains. And, there are like interesting ways to invest. So yeah, just share some insights around that.
Absolutely, Preeti. Thank you. So I'll be focusing more on the cryptocurrency and the taxation industry, how it has evolved, how it can evolve basically. What are the governance principles through which the government can take steps and evolve, how the blockchain helps us in that regard. Simultaneously, we'll be discussing on various ways how you can invest in all the products of CoinDCX. You can increase your wealth, earn money through that, and how we are complying through the daily regulations, how we are complying through laws on a day-to-day basis. We'll be touching base on that because as we see from the far, all of this looks good in an unregulated environment, but we need to take steps. That's why we are the safest and more secure and compliant exchange in India. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
Definitely, Anag. So, hitting on that point, like taking it further from there only, right? So, blockchain and cryptocurrency, quite a buzzword in the industry. Most of the people have heard about it. If they are not invested yet or not trading in the market, at least they want to learn about it. They're curious about it. So to begin the session with, for all of you who are here for the first time, or you are joining this session out of curiosity to understand about the blockchain and the cryptocurrency part as well, to break you in a very simple definition, blockchain, it's like a software, right? And on this software, what you're basically doing is that you are recording your data. You are maintaining a ledger, right? That ledger can be about transaction. It can be about assets, right? Records of asset. It can be about your identity and so forth and so on. Now, what makes it really unique, right, in terms of its applications is that it is immutable, right? It cannot be changed. It cannot be manipulated. The data is not centrally held by or hosted by a centralized party. It is in a decentralized fashion, right? Now, having this basic understanding on the blockchain, Anag, how do you see that this fits in the taxation industry, or for the taxation purpose, as you clearly mentioned that we are going to talk about?
As rightly pointed out by Akshay, the blockchain is a digital ledger of transactions of valuable information. Behind these transactions, there is something called as smart contracts through which these transactions are governed. These smart contracts are self-executory codes, algorithmically placed. They run on predetermined conditions. So when you talk about smart contracts, it makes the game very easy in terms of any industry. So coming to taxation industry, for example, if a lot of our users would be under a bracket of 30% and other income tax brackets, if you have a income tax to pay off and you choose a new regime, so directly if you link the blockchain through a smart contract wherein you write a code and wherein the self executing principles are in place, that this would be deducted upon this. So such conditions are met, becomes very easier for the users. So if you see the government, from the government side, the taxation industry is evolving a lot. We can see in future the payments made by corporates through these smart contracts. They leave a nice, big, long audit trail wherein just the way Akshay said, it's immutable. You can see that audit trails. Similarly, you can find out if these governments are, if the corporates or the governments are evading in terms of any taxes or how these taxes are being paid. Everything can be noted through these principles. So the complex nature of law, wherein there are a lot of principles to comply with, there are a lot of compliances to comply with, can be put in these smart contracts upon as a predetermined condition, and the execution can take place. After the execution takes place on this contract, the information is collected as a whole. The data is on blockchain. Once this data is there, you can basically analyze this data. You can see the profits made by the industry, apply those strategies within your business, within the taxation industry, whatever the principles applied by them. Simultaneously, government can check if there's a double taxation avoidance or an evasion done on their end. So these are the few principles, I think, from a tax perspective, wherein smart contract or blockchain will play a long-term game.
Right, interesting, Anand, there, but all too complicated right now, even for me. So yeah, what I understand, blockchain is it's a kind of a technology that you can use to transmit data, and it cannot be modified at any of the ends. So in that sense, is very, very secure. Now, help us understand like how all of this is monetized. Like, what is the way that one can look at cryptocurrencies which are based on this technology?
Monetization of these specific blockchain are few governance principles when how this can be governed. I'll give you a few examples. Previously, last year, GHMC, Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, they tried to conduct first blockchain election. They did the testing as well, wherein the voter record was unidentified voter was recorded in the blockchain, and a simple press of a pin on their computer or mobile phones, they were able to vote. So the testing was successful, but the voting did not happen in the municipal election because the state amendment did not take place. So similarly, government is utilizing this technology for various purposes, which are the governance purposes for this technology. One of them is voting. The other I can think of is very recently, Karnataka government started with property registration on blockchain. So when this data is recorded on the blockchain, it's immutable. These ledgers are already visible. So there can be permission blockchain wherein the government can see this ledger aspect of this particular data, and only they can control that data, no one else. So in that Karnataka state government's development plan, they have come up with a card just like an ATM card, wherein if you put in the numbers and through a pin, which is allotted to you, you can see the property papers. It makes the documentation very easy. It makes it irreversible. It makes it non-challengeable. So these are
Sure.
the benefits I can see governing as per the state governments or central government's laws these days.
Sure, wonderful. All right, I'm just going to take a moment to say कि yeah, guys हमें हिंदी में भी बोलना पड़ेगा because we can see on the YouTube that a lot of people are saying कि हिंदी में बात करो. So I guess we can use like English, थोड़ा हिंदी थोड़ा English, so that it becomes easy. So right now, like just for the viewers, also somebody commented that this is the recorded session, guys. Look at, I don't know if you can see the date and time here. It's all live. This is a live session, and that was the plan. आज हम बात कर रहे हैं just to understand what are cryptocurrencies. We have Anak with us, and he's समझा रहे हैं how this really works, ये कैसे encrypted होता है and how it is monetized. And he was talking about कि कैसे government of Karnataka ने अभी कुछ ledgers, property related कुछ registrations को monetize करा. So, Anak, tell us more about especially जब आप बोल रहे थे around taxes or around the regulatory environment, like और क्या बता सकते हैं? We know that crypto is अभी there are no government rules and regulations. They say कि crypto इतना unregulated है, and perhaps इसलिए लोगों को लगता है कि risky भी बहुत है, because it's really like a big black hole in terms of rules. Tax की कोई rules नहीं है. Then RBI ने पहले मना कर दिया. After that, they lost that suit in the Supreme Court, and there was some ruling, some कुछ हुआ इसके बारे में, और suddenly अभी हम देख रहे हैं कि lot of exchanges have come about, and they're able to like sort of allow people to invest in this. So एक बारी थोड़ा सा बताइए कि what is the regulatory environment like, and कैसे इसमें invest करना like is safer or is better for youngsters, especially try to speak a little bit Hindi so that our viewers can understand.
Absolutely. So it all started a few years back when the crypto boom started in 2016-17. The people realized that there is something called as Bitcoin, and so this technology is way back. It goes back in 1996, 2000 when this technology was built, but it was ultimately used in 2009 by a smart guy who even didn't reveal the name. So in terms of regulations, there are a lot of other countries who have developed these regulations, and it's still part of our day-to-day parcel with the government policy making, or even dealing with the users on a day-to-day life. We employ these regulations. How we employ these regulations? So आपको पता होगा प्रीति, कुछ I guess 6 months back या 1 साल पहले मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स ने एक नोटिफिकेशन निकाला है कि गवर्नमेंट जितनी भी कंपनीज हैं उनको अपना होल्डिंग बताना पड़ेगा क्रिप्टो में.
Exactly, I was coming to that. So like the MCA ने जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स है, they give guidelines कि कंपनीज को किस तरह से रिपोर्टिंग करनी है, बोर्ड मीटिंग्स कब होनी चाहिए, EGM कब होनी चाहिए. तो जैसे अभी आपने बताया, they've just decided that you have to disclose if you are a company. If you are registered as a company, तो आपकी जितनी crypto holdings हैं आपको balance sheet में disclose करना पड़ेगा. So that's the only piece of regulation I know. Like if you know anything else, तो वो भी थोड़ा बताओ.
So currently, Preeti, we are governing ourselves, all the crypto exchanges, through a self-regulatory code.
Okay.
We have all come together, and we want this to be as the best industry practice. So we have built in a code, so wherein we employ certain categories of checks which no other financial service provider is employing as of now, whether it be banks or whether it be NSE, BSE. So firstly, when we talk about user, we do KYC. We do an extensive KYC of a user. We take the OVD, which is their official valid document. We verify that document, and simultaneously we validate also that document. The second part is we take the tax document of a user, which is their PAN card. Now Aadhaar and PAN are linked, so we know how to verify that and the information and the source of funds. If someone is sending me a dirty fund or a right fund, I would know that. So whenever in time, these steps we took, because whenever in time someone comes and asks us, whether it be government or any other regulator, that what are you doing? Are you doing something right? Then the best practices in the market, whether it be banking principles, RBI principles, we are following that. Simultaneously, for anti-money laundering, counterfeiting of terrorism, the people are saying that this is the biggest fad wherein the money is going out. It's not like that. It's actually quite easy. All the transactions which happen on blockchain are recorded, and you know the address, that this is the address, the identity behind that address to be known. So we have our own tool which we use on a day-to-day basis, wherein all these transactions across blockchain, whatever is happening on CoinDCX or other exchanges, are tracked, are monitored all around the globe with all the other exchanges as well. We are able to track. There have been an n number of requests from users, from authorities, and we have helped authorities find these notorious fraudsters or people who have done such kind of things. But we are proudly, we can say we are very safe, compliant, and secure. We secure our funds by insurance as well if anything goes wrong. And as of now, we are following the regulations which are already in place, whether it be from a financial fintech background or whether it be on an international level.
Okay, interesting. Like जब आपने बताया about self-regulation, because I know that the mutual fund industry is very heavily regulated, especially SEBI उनको बहुत ज़्यादा oversee करता है. Then you have other, like you said, KYC regulations, and they have a lot of disclosure norms. But right now, I think a lot of people feel that cryptocurrencies can like pack up करके गायब भी हो सकती हैं. So there have been instances कि suddenly कोई नया coin निकल के आया market में and people invested. And there was a lot of noise around it और लोगों ने खरीद लिया और जैसे ही उसका प्राइस बढ़ने लगा तो जो पुराने होल्डर्स थे, जो पुराने इन्वेस्टर्स थे, they immediately exited. So anything that you can share around that, where like I'll come to the taxes bit, like मैं समझाने की कोशिश करूंगी कि how do we deal with tax if you have a gain, but पहले अगर वो gain नहीं हुआ, loss हो गया, तो उससे आप लोग how are you like helping people prevent that scenario?
Correct. So I'll explain you specific products of CoinDCX and how we prevent all of this. So हमारे main दो platform CoinDCX, CoinDCX Pro. So CoinDCX is simple buy and sell, wherein you can buy and sell through a simple click. Through your fiat wallet, you can directly buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other token which is listed. Now CoinDCX Pro is for users who are a bit professional, who know market, who can understand graphs, who can set limit orders. So we have Spot there. We have our own OTC desk who deals off and on the exchange for high volume traders. We have our Prime, OTC Prime, as a product wherein high net worth individuals के लिए curated baskets बनाई हैं हमने, जिसमें वो invest कर सकते हैं एक बार में. Now, in terms of a regulatory point of view, we are already members of ASCI, which is Advertising Standards Council of India, when we follow all the regulations, and we are trying to, they are also trying to help us build these regulations for our governance. So coming from a point of view wherein people feel it's a risk, we employ a model called as 7M model. That 7M model works on a principle that 7 तरह के मेट्रिक्स हैं कोई भी टोकन को कंसिडर करने के लिए. वो 7 मेट्रिक्स अगर फॉलो करते हैं कि उनकी टीम कैसी है, उनका आइडिया कैसा है, और वो लिस्ट क्या कर रहे हैं, क्या मार्केट कैप है उनका, ये 7 मेट्रिक्स आपको हम लोग के DCX Learn वेबसाइट पे भी मिल जाएंगे, हमारे वेबसाइट पे भी मिल जाएंगे. ये 7 मेट्रिक्स कोई अगर टोकन फॉलो करता है तो हम उसको लिस्ट करते हैं आफ्टर ड्यू डिलिजेंस. एंड वी मेक श्योर कि अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है तो उसके बाद भी जिन्होंने भी पैसे डाले हैं, जिनके भी फंड्स हैं, वो हमारे पास हम ट्रस्टेड कस्टोडियन उन फंड्स के. दैट इज व्हाई वी हैव इंश्योर्ड दोस फंड्स कि until unless that trust is there with the people that their funds are secure, they won't. And we are fortunate enough that more millions of people have invested their trust in us, and we want millions of people to trust us with their funds, because these are the practices we have been following and we will follow.
Somehow आपने जब वो बोला advertising something, and I saw today that after that India Park match and all the advertisements that you were doing, बहुत बैंड बजा रहे थे लोग ट्विटर पे for some reason, पता नहीं क्यों. So yeah, like I was wondering, it's so much happening on cryptocurrencies. Like youngsters are very much interested, and like हम लोग जब like I'm probably older than both of you, but at some point, like I was thinking of getting into cryptocurrencies, but I decided against it. So कुछ ऐसा बताइए that for a youngster, like like normally when we talk about, जैसे अगर shares की बात करते हैं, mutual funds की बात करते हैं, we also have an app called Black, where we do something similar, and like where we help you understand कि आप how much you need to invest, what are the various products available, we recommend products to investors, how much debt or how much equity they should have, and they can do various types of investing through our product. But जब भी हम शेयर्स और म्यूचुअल फंड की बात करते हैं, so उसमें एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग रहती है कि ओवरऑल अगर मेरा पोर्टफोलियो इतना है, I am doing so much property, gold, equity and debt, but when it comes to cryptocurrencies, how much exposure is an okay exposure for anyone to have, and really how much कितना टाइम तक invested रहने के बारे में हम सोच सकते हैं. See, normally when you get into gold or something, then that's a very small part of your portfolio. If you get into shares, तो normally लोग बोलते हैं अगर आप म्यूचुअल फंड्स खरीदते हैं, इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स या शेयर्स खरीदते हैं, तो 5 to 7 years and 10 years में तो phenomenal हो जाता है. But what I've sensed is that बहुत सारे लोगों के लिए it's so difficult to figure out for how long I need to invest in cryptocurrencies. कब मेरे को exit करना चाहिए, कितने टाइम तक hold करना चाहिए. Do you have any sense around that? I mean, it's such a new product that like it will be great अगर आप कुछ समझा सके कि like property लोग खरीदते हैं, so कि 2-3 साल में exit करने का कोई मतलब नहीं है, right? People invest for like a 10 year or maybe 2 decades or 3 decades is when they can really benefit from it. But if you're able to give like a horizon to investors, I think that would really help the audience.
Correct. That's a very interesting question, Preeti. Actually, for this, we have started DCX Learn. DCX Learn is a platform wherein you can learn about cryptocurrencies, about blockchain, about distributed ledger, and you ultimately can become certified also. And it is very in-depth knowledge wherein how a token is built, what are its functions, how it is performing, what are the problems it is solving. Everything is mentioned there. Now, coming back to the point that how we employ these tokens are very simple. That once you have listed this token, we are very sure that the market cap or the liquidity of that token should be there. So we, being the biggest liquidators, we aggregate this liquidity from various exchanges like Binance, Huobi, and these are exchanges which are already registered or regulated. So we gather that liquidity from them. Now, once we do that, we allow our users to trade on it. So there are very simple principles which users have to understand, users have to see when it comes to what token they are investing in. There are safe tokens such as Bitcoin, Ethereum. These tokens are solving some kind of problems. If you know what the problem they are solving, for example, there are decentralized protocols. These protocols help you yield for yield farming, basically, wherein you can invest in them and they'll give you the returns back. It's just like FD in a bank. It's just that the banks are regulated, and these cryptocurrencies, virtual currencies, are formed for decentralization, wherein no particular authority controls them. The nodes, the validators all across the globe, the 51% of the people who takes the call, it's a democratic version of a currency wherein the people are the democratic holders of that token. So they have the ultimate right, not a single authority or an individual. Tomorrow, any authority can come up and say, this won't happen until unless you challenge them in court of law. That can't happen in crypto. So I would say that it's a democratic version of people, wherein people are the key stakeholders here. They should read about the project. We have our platform wherein they can have enough knowledge on what to invest in, when to invest in. We always say that be an investor, not a trader. We have a principle saying that if you hold it for some amount of time, just the way you hold mutual funds, just the way you hold money in any other portfolio of yours, whether it be asset, gold, property, you see returns in a futuristic manner. How you will see returns? When you see that project is working well, when the project is doing something for which you have invested money, then you will see the returns. If you have invested money for solving some kind of a payment problem out of a protocol, once that protocol solves that problem and the people start accepting that, you will gain that return. You will see that gauge of volatility decreasing very low. So these are the few things I can suggest that people should look up to.
That was very complicated. To tell you frankly, मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आया. Like I can really tell you, like I do understand around taxes. Like yeah, of course, I'm a CA and I should know taxes. but this whole concept, I think it's both like interesting भी बहुत है और complex भी बहुत है. So and it's a new age kind of asset, and risk and reward जैसे बोलते हैं, always higher the risk and higher the reward वाला situation definitely इसमें भी apply करता है. We are getting a few queries around taxes. So yeah, like I guess you guys, we need to do like one more session just trying to understand what cryptocurrencies are, like right from the basics. कभी वो भी करेंगे. Anything else, Akshay, you want to ask your colleague, and then quickly I'll just move on to, because it's 5:26 right now in the evening. So if anything you want to ask Akshay, you go ahead, and then I'm going to begin my taxes.
Right. Yeah. So I'll just wrap it up what Anag has shared with all of you guys in a very simple way. So हमने time to time in this session में हमने बात की कि इसकी कुछ application है. Either it can record your assets, your identity, आपका transaction. Basically, प्रीति, आपके भी जो confusion है या जो question है ना कि किस में डालें, project run away ना हो जाए, या फिर टाइम ड्यूरेशन क्या होना चाहिए, बेसिकली इट ऑल कम्स टू द कोर ऑफ इट कि एप्लीकेशन क्या है, राइट? जैसे कि अनग ने भी बोला कि यू हैव टू फिगर आउट व्हाट इज द चैलेंज दैट दे आर प्रॉब्लम, व्हाट इज द यूज केस ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर करेंसी और द कॉइन व्हिच इज देयर इन द मार्केट. सो एप्लीकेशन फिगर आउट करने के बाद, जब आपने एप्लीकेशन फिगर आउट कर लिया, अगर आप मार्केट टाइम कर सकते हैं तो ड्यूरेशन में आप समझिए कि 1 से 2 साल तक आप मार्केट में रहते हैं. बट अगर आप मार्केट टाइम नहीं कर सकते हैं, राइट, और आपका लॉन्ग टर्म का होराइजन है, तो गिव और टेक 3 to 5 years का आप होराइजन लेके चलिए. जैसे कि हमारा एक लेंडिंग का प्रोडक्ट है, राइट? सो दैट गिव्स 10-13% इंटरेस्ट एनुअली, राइट, जिसमें आप एक स्टेबल कॉइन डिपॉजिट करते हैं और आपको स्टेबल रिटर्न आते हैं. सो विद दिस 13% इंटरेस्ट एनुअली, यू कैन कैलकुलेट कि अच्छा मेरे को किस हिसाब से कितने होराइजन के लिए उसमें इन्वेस्ट करना है. सो इट्स जस्ट निटी ग्रिटीज आर देयर. It's not complicated at all, to be really honest. It's a software. Understanding the application of it and what impact it can make in the real world, in the financial world, because that is what it is all about. Bringing the finance, decentralized finance to the economy, along with the governance and everything. And that's what we believe the cryptocurrency or the blockchain will, on the basis of all of this, it will flourish a lot more than what it is really right now. So sum it up. It's a very simple tool, but once we have made the money, we want to know what or how we can evaluate the taxation part of that. So over to you, Preeti, for that.
Right, thanks a lot. And yeah, a good note that you closed on, Akshay, that it's very important to understand the application bit. I think that is something that a lot of people don't really get into, I guess, because it moves on कि इससे सुना या उसने बताया या ये popular है and all of that. So it needs a lot more deeper study. But the easier bit is taxes, which I'm going to come to now. So I just have a quick presentation that I want to take you all through. So talking about taxes now, like अगर आप already invest कर चुके हैं, and we are seeing that there is a lot of interest. बहुत सारे लोग cryptocurrencies में invest करते हैं, and जैसे कि अनक ने भी बताया that in terms of regulation, government अभी income tax department ने कुछ बताया नहीं है कि इस पे taxes कैसे भरने हैं. Then there was some talk around GST, whether GST should apply if you are dealing in cryptocurrency. So we'll come to that, उसके बारे में भी बात करेंगे. But अगर आपको कुछ भी cryptocurrencies पे income हुई है, don't worry about it. I'll help you understand exactly what you need to do and how you can be on the right side of the law. So just coming to is crypto income taxable? Like बहुत सारे लोगों को ना ये misconception होता है that I have had some income, I sold some cryptocurrencies. It may be anything, it may be a few thousands or it may be a few lakhs, but that thought is always in your head कि यार टैक्स पे करना है इस पे या इट्स ओके, किसी को पता नहीं चलेगा. सो रिमेंबर वन थिंग, दैट पेइंग टैक्सेस इज योर प्राइमरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. मतलब वो देयर इज डेफिनेटली दैट लॉजिक कि आई एम नॉट गेटिंग एनीथिंग इन रिटर्न, मेरे घर के बाहर की सड़क खराब है एंड कुछ सर्विसेज नहीं है, हेल्थ सेफ्टी इंश्योरेंस ये सब नहीं है. बट अल्टीमेटली द लॉ सेज दैट the onus of paying taxes and filing your tax return is completely on you, right? So once we have that out of the way, any income that you have, by selling cryptocurrencies, or holding से भी, जैसे I'm sure Anak can talk about it, like if you have some dividend income or if you have some interest income, I guess interest income होता है cryptocurrencies hold करने से in certain types of currencies, तो वो सारी income जो है वो fully taxable है. अब ऐसा क्यों है? क्योंकि इनकम टैक्स एक्ट जो है, द वे इट इज डिजाइन, यू नो, दे डोंट से कि बस ये टैक्स है, इस पे टैक्स देना है. द वे इनकम टैक्स एक्ट इज डिजाइंड इज दे से सब कुछ टैक्सेबल है except these things that we have exempted, right? So there is a list of exemptions. It's called Section 10. If you are somebody who's interested in taxes or the Income Tax Act, you can look up. There is a section called Section 10, and most of the incomes which are exempt from tax, जिस पे आपको कोई टैक्स भरना नहीं है, वो सारी Section 10 में लिखी हुई है. एंड ये इनकम अभी कहीं भी नहीं लिखी हुई है. सो देर इज नोवेयर इन द इनकम टैक्स एक्ट यू विल फाइंड यू नो सॉफ्टवेयर एज अ एसेट, बट एज सच की क्रिप्टो करेंसीज, डिजिटल करेंसीज को कैसे ट्रीटमेंट करना है, इसके बारे में कुछ नहीं लिखा है. सो रिमेंबर वन थिंग, इवन दो द लॉ डज नॉट से एक्सप्लिसिटली कि इस पे आपको टैक्स भरना है, इट्स गोइंग टू बी फुली टैक्सेबल. नाउ कमिंग टू कि बहुत सारे लोग ये पूछते हैं कि अगर टैक्सेबल है तो कहाँ, इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न फॉर्म में कहीं दिख नहीं रहा है, कहाँ पे भरना है. सो वील कम टू दैट. वो समझेंगे कि कैपिटल गेन्स की तरह ट्रीट करना है या बिजनेस इनकम मानना है. और कुछ लोग ये भी बोलते हैं कि यू नो मैंने तो बस आई जस्ट हैड लाइक अ फ्यू थाउजेंड्स, 10,000 रुपए कमाए मैंने और मैंने एग्जिट कर दिया, सो अब मैं इतना कॉम्प्लिकेशन में क्यों जाऊं. सो वील कम टू दैट ऑल्सो. Also, if you are somebody who's a big investor, so बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं, you know, I know some colleagues, some youngsters in our company who have invested like close to 10-15 lakhs तक invest कर दिया, उनके values बहुत बढ़ गए हैं. So what about disclosure? Lot of people ask कि अगर holding, just मेरे पास holding है, मैंने sell नहीं किया, अभी कोई ट्रांजैक्शन नहीं हुआ, खाली बाय करके अब मेरे को उसको कैसे डिस्क्लोज करना है, इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न फॉर्म में दिखाना है, कहाँ दिखाना है. सो अगर आप इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न फॉर्म की बात करेंगे, सो देयर इज अ शेड्यूल AL which is called Schedule of Assets and Liabilities. It becomes applicable when your total income exceeds rupees 50 lakhs. Remember, when your total income in the financial year exceeds rupees 50 lakhs is when you have to fill up a schedule called Schedule AL, which is AL stands for Assets and Liabilities. Otherwise, अगर आप बैलेंस शीट बनाते हैं, तो बैलेंस शीट अगर बना रहे हैं तो उसमें भी आपको एसेट की तरह दिखाना पड़ जाएगा. सो दीज आर द टू वेज इन विच यू नो यू मे हैव टू डिस्क्लोज योर होल्डिंग्स. Now coming to the big question around how cryptocurrencies should be taxed, and you know there is a lot of debate. मतलब बहुत सारी कंट्रीज में अब काफी प्रोग्रेस कर चुके हैं उनके टैक्स लॉज. अगर आप यूएस का टैक्स लॉ पढ़ेंगे उसमें भी क्रिप्टो करेंसीज का मेंशन है. अगर आप यूके में देखेंगे वहां पे भी मेंशन है. तो अगर हम ये सारे टैक्स लॉज को पढ़ के देखें, बिकॉज देयर इज नो स्पेसिफिक गाइडेंस इन इंडिया राइट नाउ, इफ यू लुक एट इंडियन रेगुलेटर्स, अभी यू नो वी आर स्टिल फिगरिंग आउट कि कैसे इसको टैक्स करना है. एंड आई एम रियली होपिंग, एक टाइम पर हमारे फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर होते थे अरुण जेटली, ही हैड सेड कि यू नो दिस इज गोइंग टू गेट रियली बिग एंड इवन द फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री विल यूज ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी, एंड ही हैड सेड ऑल ऑफ दैट. एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली यू नो विद हिज पासिंग, उसके बाद पता नहीं क्या हुआ इसका. बट आई एम वेरी होपफुल दैट द गवर्नमेंट विल पिक दिस अप एंड यू नो वेरी सून. इतने सारे एक्सचेंजेस आ गए, इतने सारे लोग इन्वेस्ट करें, देयर इज सो मच activity in cryptocurrencies that there should be a law very soon is what we believe. So now you know there is this big question around, is this a currency, because you know बार बार हम उसको cryptocurrency बोल रहे हैं, or is this an asset? So that's the big debate, right? But very easy to figure out actually that a lot of people invest in it because it's an asset. Now in US and all, like we know that it's starting to be used as a करेंसी. लाइक आप बिटकॉइन दे करके कुछ खरीद सकते हैं, मतलब एक काइंड ऑफ, और उसको भी लोग बार्टर बुलाने लगे. सो यू नो दे डोंट कॉल इट करेंसी लाइक डॉलर्स और रुपीज और एनीथिंग. That is also like sort of termed as a barter. So essentially what lot of experts in this field have figured out is that this is a digital asset, right? It's not something you can touch and feel and see, but it's a digital asset that अगर आप उसको longer term के लिए hold करेंगे, 2 साल 3 साल उससे ज्यादा, तो आपको सिग्निफिकेंट गेन्स हो सकते हैं, लॉसेस भी हो सकते हैं. बट अगर मोस्टली लोग होल्ड करते हैं फॉर गेन्स, सो विद दैट बैकड्रॉप एंड विद द ग्लोबल प्रेसिडेंट, वी नो दैट दिस इज एसेंशियली एन एसेट. सो लाइक लेट्स कीप इन आवर माइंड्स कि जब आप इसमें इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो आप एक एसेट खरीद रहे हैं, राइट. और जब भी हम एसेट को बेचते हैं, लाइक वी नो दैट इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में अगेन अगर आप कैपिटल गेन्स की डेफिनेशन देखेंगे, इवन दैट इज फेयरली ऑल एनकम्पासिंग, लाइक इट इज एन इंक्लूसिव, विच मीन्स वो ऐसे नहीं बोलता है कि खाली ये एसेट्स अगर बेचेंगे तो कैपिटल गेन्स होगा. वो ये कहते हैं कि ये सारे एसेट्स, कोई भी एसेट बेचेंगे तो कैपिटल गेन होगा. And a few of these assets could be shares, property, mutual funds, gold, jewelry, paintings, whatever. तो in that sense, अगर हम देखें कैपिटल गेन्स क्या बताता है, तो वो भी यही बोलते हैं कि it's a all inclusive definition. So we will treat it as a capital asset. And अगर आपकी intention है you are holding for the longer term, your intent is कि मेरे को इसमें invest करना है और मैं long term के लिए इसको hold करूंगी. And you know, I will not frequently exit. रोज खरीदना बेचना ये नहीं कर रहे हम. We are just, हमारे पास एक एक्सचेंज में हमारे कॉइन्स पड़े हैं और हमारी स्टेटमेंट आती है, हमें पता है हमारा कितना पैसा इन्वेस्टेड है. एंड व्हेन दैट मनी ग्रोज, व्हेन दैट बैलेंस ग्रोज, यू गो एंड एग्जिट. सो इन दैट सेंस योर इंटेंशन रियली इज टू इन्वेस्ट, जैसे आप शेयर्स या म्यूचुअल फंड्स में करते हैं, खरीद के रख लेते हैं एंड जब भी उसकी वैल्यू बढ़ जाती है then you try to exit and you have capital gains. So जब भी हम कैपिटल, किसी भी एसेट के बारे में कैपिटल गेन्स की बात करेंगे, intention we have to look at, right? Especially because we are talking about cryptocurrency. So if you intend to hold for the longer term, then you'll treat it as a capital gain. अब जब भी आप बोलेंगे कैपिटल गेन है, naturally next question ये होगा, लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन माना जाएगा कि शॉर्ट टर्म कैपिटल गेन माना जाएगा? क्योंकि इसके बारे में कोई लॉज अभी तक अवेलेबल नहीं है. तो जनरली एक रेजिडुअल कॉन्सेप्ट है इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में कि ये जो एसेट्स हैं, प्रॉपर्टी 2 साल बाद लॉन्ग टर्म गेन हो जाता है, इक्विटी 1 साल के बाद हो जाता है, डेट म्यूचुअल फंड्स एक्स अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम के. तो उसी तरह एक रेजिडुअल कॉन्सेप्ट है, बाकी सारे एसेट्स 3 साल के बाद लॉन्ग टर्म हो जाते हैं. तो वही रेजिडुअल का लॉजिक लगा लेंगे. And we will say that if you are holding it for a period exceeding 3 years, then it will be a long-term capital gain. Now, when you say long-term capital gain, फिर again, you know, we want to know about indexation, because the Income Tax Act says कि अगर आपने long term के लिए hold किया तो आपकी cost को index करना चाहिए. We should increase the value of your cost, you know, inflation से adjust करके, and we should allow you indexation so that your capital gains are reduced. So, you know, we have to think about that concept, like will it apply, will it not apply? And when we apply indexation, then usually, you know, we pay tax at the rate of 20%. So 20 जो भी capital gain निकल करके आएगा, एक आपका सेल वैल्यू है, उसमें से आप कॉस्ट रिड्यूस कर देंगे इंडेक्स करने के बाद, और जो वैल्यू बचेगा उस पर आप 20% टैक्स भर देंगे, इंक्लूडिंग सेस, सरचार्ज, वो तो फाइनली जो भी कैलकुलेट होगा. और अगर शॉर्ट टर्म गेन है, विच मीन्स कि आप इंटेंड करते थे लॉन्गर पीरियड के लिए होल्ड करने के लिए, बट आपने 3 साल में ही विद इन 3 years उसको एग्जिट कर लिया, देन यू मे हैव टू पे टैक्स एट योर स्लैब रेट्स. नाउ सो दिस इज अबाउट, यू नो, ब्रॉडली कैपिटल गेन्स एंड क्या इंडेक्सेशन होना चाहिए, नहीं होना चाहिए. रिमेंबर, whatever I am saying is what we are deriving from what the Income Tax Act stands today. As such, you know, we are hoping कि गवर्नमेंट एक नया चैप्टर, सो इनकम टैक्स एक्ट कभी खोल के देखो तो उसमें चैप्टर्स होते हैं. So we are hoping कि गवर्नमेंट एक नया चैप्टर डालेगी और बोलेगी कि look, these are cryptocurrencies and this is how they will be taxed. And remember, whenever a new law comes, and I can see Anag is nodding his head that, you know, there's so much back and forth, कितने सारे उसमें limitations होते हैं, कितने सारे changes होते हैं. So all of that keeps happening. But for now, let's just understand this as that capital gains hoga ya business income hoga. I'm going to come to that. Now, when you know, there may be a situation, and which is actually very, very prevalent today, is that lot of people invest and, you know, they maintain like a running account कि अच्छा आज थोड़ा सा और लगा दिया, अब कल एग्जिट कर लिया, फिर थोड़ा, you know, you invest like maybe a few thousands, 5,000, 10,000 इन्वेस्ट किया, फिर 1 महीने बाद निकाल लिया, फिर कल फिर खरीद लिया, फिर निकाल लिया. So it's like a running statement they have. When you are in this kind of a scenario where you are buying, there are frequent trades, there is a high volume of transactions, then the question arises whether this is a capital gains or this is business income. And whenever, remember, business karte hain to itni transactions hoti hai, roz kharid rahe, roz bech rahe. So therefore, if you are doing frequent transactions, if you have high volumes, you don't intend to hold for the longer term, एंड दिस इज ऑल सब्जेक्टिव. डेफिनेटली दिस इज समथिंग कि आप एक टैक्स एक्सपर्ट के साथ बैठ करके ही यू कैन फिगर आउट कि आपकी इंटेंशन ये कहीं प्री डिफाइंड नहीं है. यू हैव टू फिगर इट आउट. यू हैव टू लुक एट योर स्टेटमेंट कि अगर आप देख रहे हैं एक महीने में 10 ट्रेड करे, 15 ट्रेड्स करे, फ्रीक्वेंट बाइंग सेलिंग कर रहे हैं, तो ये बिजनेस इनकम कहलाई जाएगी. सो बिजनेस इनकम की कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग एस्पेक्ट्स होते हैं. फर्स्टली बिजनेस इनकम जब भी आप रिपोर्ट, आप कोई भी बिजनेस करिए, एनीथिंग, इफ यू आर अ फ्रीलांसर, यू आर अ सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर, यू आर अ आर्किटेक्ट, इंटीरियर डिजाइनर, व्हाट हैव यू आर अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, डॉक्टर, whoever you are, if you do a business or a profession, then you are allowed to claim certain expenses from your business income, which means जितनी भी business income होगी उसके अगेंस्ट आपको कुछ expenses allowed होंगे कि इनको आप घटा लीजिए. Right? So similar treatment we can expect when we report cryptocurrencies as business income. You'll be allowed to claim certain expenses, and I'm just thinking aloud, किस तरह के expenses होंगे. Perhaps an exchange may be charging you a certain fee, or you may have bought say a laptop, or you may have been, if you're a minor or somebody, then you may have even higher expenses because you need to buy gadgets which are which have high processing ability, and you're buying maybe hard drives and storage capacity, or maybe you've employed someone जो आपकी help करता है इसकी calculations में, या even अगर आप एक CA का assistance लेते हैं अपने return file करने में, या उसका cost भी आप reduce कर सकेंगे. So whichever costs are directly related to earning that income, वो सारी income में से आप reduce कर पाएंगे. So that's the advantage of reporting it as business income. Now, whenever we say business, we know that if you're selling goods, if you're selling services, if you're providing services, तो question आ जाता है whether GST applies. Should GST apply on it? Now, GST का एक बहुत ही simple concept है कि इन्होंने बहुत simple indirect tax बनाया कि any supply of goods or services, GST will apply, right? And it's again, like I said, an inclusive concept. Like capital gains is inclusive, so it covers nearly a large number of transactions, and definitions भी ऐसी दी है कि जितने भी goods और services लगभग सभी कुछ cover हो जाता है. And the way it has been defined, the way they have mentioned, and they've even used conversion by cash or any other mode, it includes those activities. So in that sense, it appears that GST will also become applicable if you are doing buying and selling. Now, if you are a business, you're doing buying and selling of cryptocurrencies, then is it a supply of goods or services? It could be. Potentially, it could be. Now, there was a certain government department जिसने बोला कि ये intangible assets हैं और ये कुछ certain transactions हो रही हैं buying और selling की, और इस पे GST लगना चाहिए. So this is not a law right now, but किसी department ने बोला था. But अभी तक there is no clear instruction whether GST will apply or it may not apply. And as some of you might know, that whenever we talk about GST applicability, GST कब applicable होता है? Mostly जब आपकी turnover 20 lakh rupees से ज़्यादा होती है in one financial year, right? So in one financial year, if you have a cryptocurrency trade exceeding 20 lakhs, and when I say trade, I could potentially mean both selling, buying, all of that. तो अगर आपने कभी futures and options किया, उसका भी कुछ इस तरह से उसका turnover एक different तरीके से calculate होता है. So, these are all right now gray areas. And we right now, I'm not an expert. I'm also thinking aloud कि किस तरह से tax pay होगा. But GST applicability एक potential scenario है. ये हो सकता है apply. And I'm hoping there will be clarity sooner than direct taxes. Direct taxes take a lot more time. So ये एक proposal था, कोई economic intelligence bureau करके कोई government का department है जिन्होंने बोला था कि definitely लगता है कि GST apply होना चाहिए, और अगर GST apply होगा then the rate is 18%. So as a person investing in cryptocurrencies, आपको सोचना पड़ेगा कि इनकम टैक्स कितना भरना है, और अगर आपको GST अप्लाई हो जाता है तो आपको GST रिटर्न के बारे में भी सोचना पड़ेगा. And of course at ClearTax, we'll help you address both these aspects. We'll help you file your tax returns, and at the same time आप अपनी GST returns भी file कर पाएंगे. Right now, right now, if you have more than 20 lakhs worth of trade, don't start worrying about कि मुझे GST return भरना है. ऐसा नहीं है, आज की डेट में नहीं है. But I would still highly recommend कि आप किसी expert से consult करें, किसी tax expert से बात करें, and try and explore what your trades are looking like, how much gains and losses you have, and potentially what is your tax liability. I think ये एक बहुत important aspect है. दूसरा एक aspect जिसपे अभी तक clarity नहीं है वो ये है कि अगर आप business income report करते हैं, what happens if you have a business loss? Because normally India में and across the world if you have losses जो कि या तो capital loss हो या business loss हो, तो loss का भी set off और carry forward allow होता है. Set off से मेरा मतलब है कि जैसे आपको कुछ लॉस हुआ कुछ गेन हुआ तो आप लॉस को माइनस कर सकते हैं गेन से और नेट इनकम पे आप टैक्स भर सकते हैं. बट अभी तक ये भी क्लैरिटी नहीं है, मतलब यही नहीं पता कि इनकम पे कैसे टैक्स पे करना है, तो लॉस का क्या करना है वो तो बिल्कुल नहीं पता है. So I think that is also one aspect that the regulator needs to think about. And again, जब losses की बात करते हैं Income Tax Act में, तो Income Tax Act is very clear on this that there are certain speculative losses and there are certain non-speculative losses, and the treatment of these two kind of losses is actually pretty different. So उसका भी एक implication आ जाएगा कि when you're talking about taxes, तो अगर आपका लॉस हो गया, लॉस को रिपोर्ट कैसे करेंगे, क्या उसको कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि जितने भी बिजनेस लॉसेस होते हैं उनको हम रिपोर्ट करते हैं अपनी रिटर्न में. एंड इट्स एक्चुअली कंसिडर्ड एन एडवांटेज. अगर लॉस है तो ये मत सोचिए कि रिटर्न नहीं भरना है. बिजनेस लॉस होता है तो लोग आगे बढ़ के रिटर्न भरते हैं, बिकॉज अगले साल जब बिजनेस को प्रॉफिट होगा तो लॉस उसमें से रिड्यूस हो जाएगा. बट around crypto losses, what is the regulation? Abhi clarity nahi hai. So I'm really hoping ki with as time passes, we will have more clarity around it, especially like there is so much interest in it. Itne sare investors isme lage hue hain. So yeah, I mean broadly, this is what I wanted to say. Now one more question that we get very often is कि जब हम क्रिप्टो को रिपोर्ट करेंगे टैक्स रिटर्न में तो क्या डॉक्यूमेंटेशन चाहिए. तो फर्स्टली लेट मी जस्ट क्लैरिफाई, जब भी आप रिटर्न फाइल करते हैं, एक तो सब लोग आजकल ऑनलाइन रिटर्न फाइल करते हैं. देयर इज नो कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ अ पेपर रिटर्न, राइट? सो यू फाइल योर रिटर्न ऑनलाइन एंड इट गोज विदाउट एनी अटैचमेंट. सो कोई अटैचमेंट नहीं लगानी है. ऐसा नहीं है कि क्रिप्टो स्टेटमेंट डाउनलोड करके अपलोड करनी है, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. You need to maintain that documentation अपने पास. So एक फाइल बना के रखिए. It could be even on your computer. Just download your statement कि crypto statement में क्या trades दिख रहे हैं क्या. And also it would be, and Anak can weigh in on that, it would be a good strategy to keep a track of where your funds are coming from. Because जो बहुत सारा जो debate regulator को जो major challenge हो रहा है crypto currency से is around money laundering, as Anak had touched upon it. Basically, there are people जिनके पास money है, उसके sources क्या है, क्या वो tax paid money है. Remember, whenever you invest, आप इक्विटी में करते हैं, म्यूचुअल फंड में करते हैं, गोल्ड में करते हैं, तो आप टैक्स पे करके उस मनी को इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. सो देयर इज अ जनरल माइंडसेट थिंग दैट ये जो पैसा इसमें जा रहा है, इज इट money on which tax has been paid or not. So to just be safe, keep a record of where you are investing from, and actually it should be pretty easy on an exchange because वो link होता है आपके बैंक अकाउंट से, पैसा ऑटोमेटिकली आप वहां से ट्रांसफर करते हैं या वहां से निकाल लेते हैं. सो इट वर्क्स प्रीटी मच लाइक एन अकाउंटिंग काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग, बट स्टिल like be clear on that, like have a proper statement and everything. Now, if you've had gains, the other important thing to think about is advance taxes. तो कई बार क्या होता है कि हमारी इनकम होती है, अगर सैलरी है तो एम्प्लॉयर टीडीएस काटता रहता है, तो वी नेवर वरी अबाउट एडवांस टैक्स, बिकॉज एम्प्लॉयर कीप्स ऑन डिडक्टिंग टीडीएस, इट गोज टू द डिपार्टमेंट. And as salaried employed, most taxpayer best taxpayer होते हैं दुनिया की, because उनको मिलने से पहले ही वो गवर्नमेंट को दे देते हैं कि आप पहले ले लीजिए टैक्स, आप अपनी इनकम पहले लीजिए, हम अपनी इनकम बाद में ले लेंगे. So keep the same logic in mind. If you had gains from cryptocurrencies, pay your advance tax to the government, because potentially if your gains are huge, like I know people who've had gains like 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs to that effect. अगर इतना गेन हुआ है तो साथ साथ उस पर जितना भी स्लैब रेट पे या कैपिटल गेन्स किसी एक्सपर्ट से बात करके जितना टैक्स बनता है, please go and deposit it on a timely basis. Also understand that if you're doing arbitrage and intraday, and there are a lot of special events kind of scenarios in cryptocurrencies, it's important to understand how taxes play a role in that. Yeah, broadly, this is what I wanted to touch about. I'll just briefly take another minute and summarize. What I wanted to say is कि जब भी आप cryptocurrencies में invest करते हैं, remember it's always taxable. Your income is likely to be taxable in your tax return. पहली बात ये हो गई. दूसरी बात, disclosure situation arise हो सकती है अगर आपकी annual income 50 लाख से ज्यादा है, या अगर आपको balance sheet बना करके देनी है, because you have to file ITR 3, आपकी business income है, तब disclosure requirement आ सकती है. Then you have to figure out capital gains की तरह treat करना है या business income की तरह treat करना है. और capital gains जब करते हैं तो long term है कि short term है, indexation होगा कि नहीं होगा. Then the aspect around losses, and then finally, maintaining a good record, a good documentation of your investments. That's really going to help you and keep you at peace so far as the income tax department is concerned. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. Anand, anything that you'd like to weigh in on, anything that you want to talk about in this context?
Absolutely, Preeti. I just want to highlight one point. So we have a new feature on CoinDCX wherein you can see your profit and losses. We have implemented that on a day-to-day basis. If you have bought a cryptocurrency or a token or an asset, you can see the profit and losses are being maintained there. So with the help of a Clear Tax team, with help of Preeti and everyone, you guys can actually note down the profit and losses, and with the help of an expert, you can actually file these returns the way Preeti said. And we are working on these aspects wherein we can properly advise institutions on how to file business incomes, or how to actually calculate taxes when you are a business operating on a day-to-day basis. But as we move on, we are very positive that we'll get a clarity from government in this session itself. We feel very positive about it. As of now, our Honorable Finance Minister has already told her, she has already told her that, us that they are looking for something positive, and on a global stage, everything is set, and we are waiting for positive regulations. So this is a note I want to leave everyone with, that crypto was always legal and it will be legal. So don't be afraid. Just read about it, research about it, and invest in it.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting one question and I just wanted to point it out. Somebody is asking, अगर मेरे को tax भरना है तो वो तभी होगा at withdrawal. अगर मैं 5-10 साल के लिए उसको hold करती हूँ, then like what happens to my gains? So yeah, I just want to point out that अगर आप exit करते हैं तभी income होगा. Just holding पर अभी हम इस बारे में हमने बिल्कुल बात नहीं करी. There is no tax on holding cryptocurrencies. और ये अगर आप देखो in Indian laws ऐसा कोई concept है नहीं अभी तक कि just आपको एक asset hold करते हैं, उससे कोई income नहीं हो रहा है, कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, उसका value बढ़ रहा है तो you need to pay tax. इस तरह का अभी concept यहाँ पर नहीं है और ये चीज नहीं होगी. अगर आप 5-10 साल के लिए hold करते हैं, उसके बाद exit करते, जब भी exit करेंगे, as of today, like without any proper regulations, what we can tell you is कि जब आप exit करेंगे तभी उस पर आपको टैक्स भरना होगा. There's one more question coming in. Like if you say if you have interest income from lending cryptos, मतलब आपने अपने जो क्रिप्टो करेंसीज हैं उसको लेंड कर दिया और इंटरेस्ट इनकम हो रहा है जो कि एक्सचेंज ऑटोमेटिकली आपके अकाउंट में क्रेडिट करता रहता है. व्हाट अबाउट दैट? सो या, दैट इनकम इज नॉट कैपिटल गेन्स, इट इज अदर इनकम. इट्स एन इंटरेस्ट इनकम, तो अदर इनकम में ले जाइए एंड यू कैन पे टैक्स एट your regular slab rates. It will not be capital gain. I'm sorry, I didn't touch upon that. Yeah, so when it could be potentially जैसे आपकी कुछ गेन आपकी क्रिप्टो करेंसी से आपने उनको लेंड कर दिया, इस तरह के इवेंट्स होते रहते हैं. तो अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है तो जो भी इंटरेस्ट इनकम होगा उसको हम कैपिटल गेन्स में नहीं मानेंगे. Okay, there's one more question. If I receive crypto in my non-custodial wallet like MetaMask, do I have to include that amount in income tax? Anand, पहले तो आपको मुझे समझाना पड़ेगा कि what is he saying? Like, is this receive crypto in my non-custodial wallet? So
Correct. So Preeti, there are different kinds of wallet. Custodial wallet would be a wallet with the exchange like CoinDCX. A non-custodial wallet would be a decentralized wallet which is outside exchange. For example, a decentralized wallet of a protocol itself. So there are wallet service providers like MetaMask and few others who hold these non-custodial funds. But as far as the taxes are comes into play, it's about the income once you withdraw from that wallet into your fiat. So until unless you're holding that in your, just the way Preeti said, you're holding that in your wallet, whether it be non-custodial, web wallet, hardware wallet, any kind of wallet, until unless you convert that into a fiat currency and you gain or have a loss of it, you will have to pay taxes on it as
right.
well.
So yeah, as I understand कि जैसे जब shares hold करते हैं, कभी bonus shares मिल जाते हैं या इस तरह के events होते हैं, तो if you are receiving cryptocurrencies because you in a non-custodial wallet, which means it's not with the exchange, in that case hold करके रखिए. If you plan to exit, तो जैसे कि अभी हम we've been talking about it, जब भी exit scenario होता है, टैक्स सिचुएशन तभी अराइज होती है. पूरे इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में ऐसा कहीं नहीं है कि इफ यू आर होल्डिंग एन एसेट उसकी वैल्यू बढ़ती जा रही है तो आपको टैक्स पे करना एज एन इंडिविजुअल. इस तरह का सिनेरियो अभी तक नहीं है. आई एम जस्ट वेटिंग फॉर मोर क्वेश्चंस टू कम थ्रू. या सो ब्रॉडली देयर आर टू एस्पेक्ट्स जो टैक्सेबल नहीं है व्हेन यू बाय क्रिप्टो करेंसीज एंड व्हेन यू होल्ड देम and when you transfer cryptocurrencies from your one wallet that you own to another wallet that you own. So right, broadly again I'll touch upon it. Cryptocurrencies खरीदने पर कोई टैक्स नहीं है, होल्ड करने पर कोई टैक्स नहीं है, अपने ही एक वॉलेट से दूसरे वॉलेट पे मूव करने पर भी कोई टैक्स नहीं है फिलहाल, so long as we don't have a proper guideline from the income tax department. Right now this is how we understand it. The moment you decide to exit, or then you have a situation where you have an income or a loss and you have to pay tax, or when you are receiving something extra जैसे कि interest income मिला या कुछ किसी तरह का lending income मिला, तब जो है situation arise होती है. All right. Okay, somebody saying I won $10,000 in crypto lottery. Wow. I have not encashed it yet. What's my scope of income taxes if I encash it in a different financial year in parts? Actually, firstly, I don't understand. I've not encashed it. Means what? Somebody has received $10,000 worth of cryptocurrencies. If I'm looking at it correctly, I think it means that there is this person very lucky in today's times to have got $10,000 as a crypto currency in their account. Yeah, exactly. If you've not encashed it, which means you've not exited, then you don't have any tax incidents. Now let's understand, अगर आप एक दो तीसरे चौथे फाइनेंशियल ईयर में एग्जिट करते हैं तो क्या होगा. So you can exit in parts and then again that situation of capital gains will arise कि आपको मिले कब. अगर आपने एक साल में एग्जिट कर दिया, 2 साल में, 3 साल में, वो शॉर्ट टर्म गेन हो गया. अगर आपने 3 साल के बियॉन्ड होल्ड करा तो वो लॉन्ग टर्म गेन में आ जाएगा और फिर वो सारा कॉन्सेप्ट आ जाएगा इंडेक्सेशन करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे और कॉस्ट क्या ट्रीट होगा. और आपने क्योंकि विन किया है, रिमेंबर इसका कॉस्ट आपके लिए 0 होगा, तो जितना गेन है सारे पे टैक्स देना पड़ेगा. आफ्टर ऑल दिस गुड न्यूज आई एम गिविंग यू दिस बैड न्यूज दैट बिकॉज पोटेंशियली इट सीम्स लाइक यू डोंट हैव एनी कॉस्ट against it, so whatever you've earned, whatever money you will get on selling them, on encashing them, you will have to pay full tax on it. Okay, one more question coming in. If I buy and sell in USDT but don't withdraw in INR, should I pay tax? Yes, sir, very much. You can deal in any currency, you have to pay tax, right? Firstly, you have to pay tax. Any income you have, any currency, anywhere in the world, if you are a tax resident of India, which means आप इंडिया में रहते हैं, आप as per the Income Tax Act, you are a tax resident of India. Anywhere in the world you have an income, you may have had an income in Mauritius or Honolulu or what have you, you have to pay tax in India. It doesn't matter which currency you bought in, which currency you sold in, you have to pay tax on it. I am an NRI. If I purchase cryptocurrencies in foreign currency and then send it to exchange in India for deposit in bank after holding few days, what would be my tax liability and is it legal like that? So I'll let Anag weigh in on the legal bit, but I can tell you the tax liability. So you are an NRI, right? So which means any income that you either earn in India or you receive in India will be taxable in India. Now you're saying कि आपने क्रिप्टो करेंसीज खरीदी, जहां पे भी खरीदी, आपको जो उसका पैसा है वो इंडिया में रिसीव हुआ, right? Whatever money you received after selling them, वो आपके इंडियन अकाउंट में डिपॉजिट हो गया. Then you have to pay tax in India, right? So you have to be careful about these things. Whenever you do transactions, there is a certain aspect of the Indian law जिसमें ये लिखा है कि अगर आप नॉन रेजिडेंट इंडियन हैं तो किस तरह की इनकम पे आपको इंडिया में टैक्स भरना होगा. वो इनकम होगी या तो जैसे कोई प्रॉपर्टी इंडिया में थी, आपने वो बेच दी, उसका पैसा इंडियन अकाउंट में मिला, वो तो डेफिनेटली हर सिचुएशन में इंडिया पे टैक्स होगा. आप कहीं बाहर रहते हैं बट आपको इनकम इंडिया में रिसीव हो रही है तो इंडिया में टैक्स भरना पड़ेगा. सो पोटेंशियली दिस कुड बी अ टैक्स इवेंट इन इंडिया, बट आई डोंट नो इफ इट्स रियली पॉसिबल, इफ इट्स लीगल. Anak, would you like to add, please?
Correct. So if you are an NRI and you're trading on CoinDCX, so we'll probably allow you on our C2C market, which is crypto to crypto trading. You can bring in crypto and purchase crypto, and probably on the safer side of things, from a FEMA side, we don't allow for non-Indian users to touch fiat. We don't allow them to withdraw in their bank account, basically, because there is a foreign exchange liability for the exchange as well, and we being the most compliant, we don't do that. We give them an opportunity to trade on the crypto to crypto side. We have a products wherein everyone can trade on C2C. You can buy Ethereum from Bitcoin, Bitcoin from Ethereum, and you can hold, you can earn interest in crypto and take it back, but we won't give you the opportunity to convert that in fiat INR in India.
Okay, so what you're saying is कि अगर कोई NRI है, let's say somebody is in the US and they invest in cryptocurrencies, आपको वो फॉरेन करेंसी देके आपके प्लेटफॉर्म पर वो कुछ इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, और जब उसको एग्जिट करते हैं वो बोलते हैं कि इंडियन बैंक अकाउंट में डिपॉजिट कर दो. इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. All right, got it. All right, we have something else coming in, which is अगर एक क्रिप्टो करेंसी से दूसरे में कन्वर्ट करते हैं, do we incur tax event? Potentially, I feel कि ये इसमें अनक what they are saying is एक तरह का क्रिप्टो करेंसी था, जैसे कि म्यूचुअल फंड में होता है कि आपने एक म्यूचुअल फंड से पैसा निकाल के दूसरे पूरा का पूरा प्रिंसिपल दूसरे म्यूचुअल फंड में लगा दिया, तो वो म्यूचुअल फंड के कॉन्सेप्ट में तो टैक्स इवेंट हो जाता है. बट इन अ क्रिप्टो करेंसी सिनेरियो, लेट्स से आपने बिटकॉइन खरीद के उसमें से एग्जिट करके वो पैसा किसी और में लगा दिया, तो उस सिचुएशन में आपको क्या लगता है कि किस तरह से होगा? और इज इट ओनली वी चेंज टू फिएट, लाइक हाउ डज इट वर्क?
So as per my understanding, it will only be in terms of fiat. When you change that particular crypto into fiat, we don't have a specific law on crypto to crypto taxation, though there is a fees which is charged by us or the protocol or the blockchain itself, wherein you convert from one crypto or when you move from one blockchain address to other blockchain address. So there's a definite fee over it. And for example, if you are a business and that fee is levied on you from that particular point, then again you have to consult your tax expert that whether this fee which was applicable to be on crypto, if it's converted into INR, can I invest on, I am liable to pay tax. As of now, in crypto conversions or any fees in crypto, until unless you touch INR wallet or fiat wallet, there is no chances of taxes.
Okay, wonderful. So, as I understand, Anna, can correct me if I'm wrong, unless you're converting a currency into any kind of rupee conversion or you're doing a fiat, in दोनों cases में tax incidence होगा, right? Otherwise नहीं होगा. Am I understanding it correctly?
Correct.
All right. Okay, great. ठीक है. I think, like I was just thinking when you were speaking, is that इतने सारे aspects हैं which need to be addressed in terms of taxes. इतने सारे scenarios हैं. And guys, when we talk about special events in cryptocurrencies, इतने तरह के होते हैं. Like I'm still learning. Like there are so many ways in which you can invest and so many ways in which you can exit. That it's just amazing. So I'm now that we are talking about it, I'm really looking forward to कि किस तरह का law बन के आता है, and I hope they count me in when they're looking at setting up a committee to talk about how to do taxes on it, because it's going to be very, very interesting. I hope it's 6:04 right now and we've gone beyond the time limit, but I hope this was an engaging session and you all enjoyed and we were able to answer your questions. It's a very upcoming investing idea. Again, a lot of risk and then higher reward, and of course a lot to learn about it, not just in terms of how to invest and how to make money from this, but also always to bear in mind that there could be a tax incidence and how to protect yourself from these kind of situations. So I guess, what do you say, Akshay? Should we just call it a day? Should we just end this here? Okay, the moment I said, Akshay is gone off.
No, that'll be great. So yeah, I mean, we had a really lovely session, and as you said, right, a lot to talk about when it comes to be it the taxation part or be it simply, evaluating that कौन सा crypto choose करना चाहिए, कितने time frame के लिए करना चाहिए. And as you just mentioned, right, there are so many events, literally pretty like, there are multiple events wherein you will think about that, I'm interacting with blockchain or cryptocurrency industry in this particular manner. Am I taxable? Like, do I need to pay tax? Like, there is staking, there is farming, a whole lot of products which are there, interest based, derivative based, future based, spot market based, and all of that. So I think we can wrap it up today, and definitely it'll be very interesting, on the basis of the audience demand, जैसा भी उन लोगों को requirement रहेगा, if needed, we will definitely do a follow-up session, wherein we will talk about further and touch upon things we haven't touched about today.
All right, wonderful. Thanks a lot, Akshay and Anak. It was wonderful. I learned quite a few things, and I hope Sare audience they also learned something. I'm just checking. I don't see there is any question as such right now that we need to address. But we could be back if you all want. If there are more questions, then feel free to reach out to CoinDCX or to ClearTax. Remember, we are helping people file their tax returns if they have crypto income. So come to us. We have tax experts. Talk to us. Tell us what your various issues are. We'll help address. We'll help you file your tax return. We'll help you identify whether it's a capital gain scenario or a business income scenario. And we'll make sure you pay your taxes on time and you file your tax return on time. That's it for now. So I guess goodbye and perhaps see you again sometime.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.